to the Trinity County Fire Safe Council meeting for May. My name is Michael Mondo. I'm with Lewiston Fire Department, captain over there. I'll pass it on to Glenn.
Hello, this is Skylar Fisher with Trinity County RCD as the County Fire Safe Council Coordinator. Happy to be here.
Ryan Cash, Cal Fire Battalion 6 is my battalion.
Sarah Jarrett, I'm with Intel with the Cal Fire Shasta Trinity unit down in the headquarters building in Red.
Chris Prendeville, We Will Fire.
Emily Acer, Project Coordinator for the RCD.
Kelly Sheen, Executive Director for the Trinity County Resource Conservation District.
Jill Cox, Board of Supervisors.
Sunny DeMello, Trinity County OES.
Just go call you guys out by name up there. Nate. Got a Nate in the house.
Yeah, good afternoon. Nate Arch. I'm the Prescribed Fire and Fuel Specialist for the Weaverville and Big Bar Ranger districts of the Shasta Trinity National Forest.
Larry.
Hi, Larry Glass, South Fork Mountain, and SAFE representative.
Adam.
Hey, good afternoon. Adam Kuntz, Mad River Ranger District, Fuels Planner.
Chris.
Hey, this is Chris Cole. I'm the District Conservationist for the Natural Resource Conservation Service for Trinity County.
Awesome. Gina.
Hello, Salyer Ambassador and community member, Willow Creek Fire Safe Council also.
Dave.
Hi, folks. Dave DeLang, Trinity Public Utilities District.
Michael.
Mike Allen with the Reading BLM office.
So, the other Chris.
Hope you're muted, Chris.
Too many buttons. Chris Losey, Alta Valley Consulting in Flora.
All right. Jerry. Jerry keeps moving around.
Hey, everybody. Jerry Cousins with the Trinity County Collaborative.
Awesome. Randy. Got you up there, Randy.
Hello. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, that's Randy Paris. No. How about Sophia?
Hi, everyone. Sophia Sadie with the Watershed Center Forestry and Fuels Program. Randy might be having some technical issues, but she's also with the Forestry and Fuels Program Director.
Awesome. Casey.
Hey everyone, Casey Toole, the Burn Program Coordinator for North Coast Air Quality.
Bob.
Yeah, Bob Doucette with Shasta Trinity National Forest Public Affairs.
Awesome. And Josh. Got a Josh up there. I'm not sure where he's.
He's with the paper, and he frequently doesn't have a microphone.
Fair enough. Josh is with Trinity County Journal. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Got any additions or changes to the agenda? Got anything going?
I think so.
Think that is a no. Awesome, man. We don't have any discussions?
Nope.
All right, move on to grants.
Hey, Mike, this is Jerry Cousins. I have to leave a little after 2.
Copy that. Jerry.
Kids coming up. Thanks.
Right on. Right on. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and begin the discussion on grants. Skylar's got stuff for you guys.
Wonderful. Okay, to start off, we have a letter of support request from TPUD. So TPUD requests a letter of support for a CAL FIRE wildfire prevention grant proposal for $949,000 $949,000, 800, to treat approximately 359 acres of shaded field break treatments along 22 miles of the Hay Fork 60 kV transmission line right of way. And so Dave actually reached out for a letter of support last year for this application for CAL FIRE's wildfire prevention program, which we signed on to, and they're resubmitting this proposal this year as like a bit of preface, but I'll turn it around to Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Skylar. Yeah, and actually there is a correction. I have honed in the maps a little bit. The proper number is 337 acres. Same ask. We'll find a way to spend that. That's a brushy area. So this is not just for a shaded field break. There is some hazard tree abatement component in that grant ask. Also, this will be our third try, and hopefully this is going to be the one that they accept. So thank you for your support. Or maybe support.
Want to put it out there? Does anybody have any objections to?
I just have a question. Dave, does this do clearing on the proposed right-of-way that's still under review or scrutiny? The right-of-way expansion.
The RAP project, the right away. This is a portion. Some of this would fall under the RAP project. This is clearing underbrush and shaded field break. You know, the prescription would be 18 and 20 foot spacing, lower ladder fuels, and chipped in broadcast back into the landscape.
So that's under the current right-of-way dimensions?
This is under. No, this is under our current practices.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody have any objections or concerns to us signing back on in support of that? All right, you're here. It's happening.
Wonderful.
It's happening.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
Okay, so there are a few upcoming grant opportunities. The first one on the list is the CAL FIRE Wildfire Prevention Grant, which was for the previous proposal was for. So that covers hazardous fuels reduction, wildfire prevention planning, and/or wildfire prevention education. Okay, and then we also have CAL FIRE's Volunteer Fire Capacity Grant Program. That deadline is coming up pretty quick, May 31st, but it can fund up to $200,000 for local, rural, and volunteer-run fire departments. So covering purchases for safety gear, training tools, communications equipment, and the like. And then FEMA and DHS have 3 grant programs open, which will close June 22nd. Looking at some of the grant guidelines, it seems like for our population will be a max of about $1 million. And so that's the Assistance to Firefighters Grants Program, Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response Funding, and then the Fire Prevention and Safety Grant Program. And so those are fairly similar, but have some different target areas, but each close on June 22nd. And so those are the grants I'm aware of that I wanted to share.
Does anybody else out there have any grant opportunities that they are aware of and would like to share with the group?
I had a quick question for y'all with OES and such. We just became aware of the BRIC funding, and maybe you guys have discussed that in the past. I was just wondering if that BRIC funding through FEMA was on anyone's radars.
It is on our radar. We were actually just talking about it before the meeting, and the deadline for that is coming up pretty quickly. And the county would have to apply for it as a sub-applicant of the state, because that funding actually goes to like states and territories and tribal nations. So we would have to sub-apply through the state of California, and it sounds like that's too close to the deadline now for us to apply for that funding. That the state of California has already closed that as for sub applicants.
Gotcha. Thanks for describing that.
Yep.
Right. Well, puts us on to the Fire Safe Council Coordinator update.
Let's see. At the start of the month, we had the Firewise Fair at the Hayfork Park the first Saturday in May. We had over 18 booths in attendance, a mix of agency representatives and vendors and other local community organizations, which was our highest booth attendance in the past 3 years that we've been hosting it at the park. So that was really great. It was our first year doing the muster games. We ended up doing 2 musters. We started with a fun challenge between CAL FIRE and the Forest Service. And then we did a bucket brigade with the kiddos. And so we had about 175 people in attendance. Delicious tacos again this year. Thank you to the Watershed Center because they put together some of the amazing films about fuels and fire that we put. We jerry-rigged a pop-up and then pinned tablecloths to the sides of the pop-up, brought that TV to Hayfork, played it on loop. So it was like a nice little video chamber. And so the event went great. We're looking forward to next year. So yeah, thank you to the planning partners, Watershed Center, Hayfork and High and Palm Volunteer Fire Departments, and then also to Pumpkin Bee Sewing, the Trinity Lumber Mill, and the Hayfork High FFA programs for donating raffle items. We're still waiting to hear what the final fundraising tally was for Hayfork VFD, but they were saying their boot was getting filled up. So we're really happy about that. And then also thank you to Emily who did a lot of the planning and coordination for the event. So it was a great Firewise Fair. Otherwise, we're working on a few proposals right now. There's a NIFWIF funding opportunity that we're looking at to do some fuel reduction around the Weaverville wetlands, and then also working with our ecological restoration program to do some monitoring and potentially invasive plant removal in there. So we've been working with the county a little bit in NRCS. We're excited about that. Working to develop a CAL FIRE wildfire prevention proposal for community chipping and continuing funding that across the county in partnership with the Watershed Center. And we're fairly optimistic about the extension for county coordinator funding. So we're looking forward to that too, to continue, Fire Safe Council and Firewise community coordination. So that's been the bulk of it. And I can answer any questions or elaborate on anything too.
Anybody have any questions or anything for her to elaborate on?
I'll just ask, what was the NIFWIF? What's the acronym?
Oh, National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. Yeah, they like pass through different funding sources. So I think it's like typically some federal funding. So this opportunity is their 5-star program, which we thought was so perfect because it's 5-star because you have to partner with 5 different agencies for your project to be eligible. And what property than the Weaverville wetlands, which is county property with an NRCS easement next to like the rancheria, by the Weaverville Community Forest. We're like, this is perfect. So we've been trying to crunch out an application for that.
Oh, the 5th one. NRCS, rancheria, tribes, forest,
RCD. Yeah, we've also reached out to the elementary school too.
The Weaverville Elementary School is also signed on as a partner.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess we can move forward if nothing else is up. The project updates, starting with the BLM. Any project updates?
Oh, yeah, this is Mike Allen with BLM. Just let you guys know that so in Trinity County, we have about 430 acres of piles to burn this upcoming next burn window season. Basically, out of all our burn piles, it's only 30 in Shasta County, and then the rest are in Trinity County. So that's our main priority, to get through those piles in the Weaverville Community Forest area and the Reading Indian Creek Unit B, which is outside of Douglas City. With that, we're still working with the watershed on the Hayfork NEPA. So that will incorporate all the BLM lands in Hayfork, surrounding Hayfork. We're also still moving forward with the Junction City Helena project. So that was a 2 hour, or not 2 hour, 2 year owl survey. So by the end of the year, the surveys for the owls will be done. So we'll know more about what we can do. We do have botany taking surveys up there now. So that'll give us a better view. In Weaverville Community Forest there, we do have an additional 125 acres of maintenance of the previous treated areas. So going back in there and just lop and scatter or repiling what we need to keep in there to keep that down and looking good. Also, the Hewing Reservoir in Hayfork. So the Forest Service has reached out to us. We're gonna like co-write a burn plan because they want to burn that parcel right next to the reservoir and then use some of our land to like as control lines. So that'll be about 50 acres of BLM land. So that hopefully will happen late September, early October. And then, yeah, once the Hayfork done, the NEPA is done on the Hayfork one, that hopefully will be done by the end of the year, and then putting a lot of our eggs in that basket for project work and cleaning up that area. There's a forestry component to it, not a big one, but mostly just fuel reduction in that area, going heavy there. That's the second most populated area in Trinity County. And then we'll see what happens with the Junction Helena area. So the only other tidbit I had was a while back, a homeowner off 299 just near Junction City, near Skyway. There was a parcel next to their house, pretty overgrown, a lot of Scotch broom. They were asking us to treat it, but basically that parcel is in transition between TPUD, I believe, is gonna give it to the BLM. But until it's finalized, I can't do anything with it. So it's in transition. Once we acquire it, then I can act on it. But as of right now, I can't do anything. So I talked to the homeowner, let her know that's how it is right now. It's not good news, but I'm basically, my hands are tied on it now until it becomes officially a parcel of BLM. So that's the only other tidbit I had. So if there's any questions, just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Anybody have any questions for Michael? No, move on to CAL FIRE.
So we're all fully running up and going. Every station staffed. The aircraft is on base and ready. All our crews are staffed. As far as projects, we have the VMP over there in Big Creek and Hayfork. We continue to work on. We got a lot of pile burning done, and we're going to try to do a broadcast, but with the weather coming in, it's kind of limited us. So we have to see what happens the next couple of weeks or so, and we'll try to go and kind of complete that as much as we can. But I feel like once the weather turns, we're going to be off to the races, like we've seen down in Southern California. So we don't have those resources to pull those burns off. Oddfellows approached us about a VMP on the backside of the mountain there once they get that bridge completed. So that'll probably be a little bit, but that's on the forecast. And then also Todd reached out, Chief Corbett reached out about the airport and burning it. So probably this fall, I'll get with Todd here in the next week or two, and we'll kind of come up with a plan with that, with burning around the airport, kind of clean that up, do some VMP training, maybe some live fire drills for the volunteer companies, and then we'll talk to Jan and Troy and go from there. So end of report.
Is there a timeline on when they're gonna get that bridge in?
I talked to Lancaster, and he was saying all the funding's there. The Oddfellows camp would have to pay about 100,000, which it sounds like they'll just kind of write it off. But Caltrans had the money there to do it, and they were surveying it. He's got all the plans done, and they're just kind of waiting to pull the trigger. So he did say, don't quote me, he did say it will be a suspension bridge to let the flow go better for the resource and the wildlife. Fishing game, we're good with that instead of a culvert bridge, which probably eliminate that ever happening again, I hope. So,
yeah,
washing all that out. So that's the plan. So sounds like it's moving forward. How fast, I don't know, of course, but we'll go from there. So.
Thank you.
I actually want to say something. So we're working on, I wasn't planning on this, but right now, so we're going through doing fuels prioritization. CAL FIRE has a contract with a company called Vibrant Planet, and so they go through that whole process. I know you guys had You have a really good CWPP. Did it just get updated? When, like in 2025? I think we were chatting about it.
It was like tail end of 2025. Yeah, we finished. So if you don't have it, I'd be happy to send you a copy.
Okay, I think I have it linked. But one of the inputs that goes into that, and it's the same thing that we're using, is the high value resources, assets, and areas. I think they added. So it's basically like critical structures, like emergency structures, like fire, and then things like schools that would be used as evac sites. And then a big one is like any power facilities or also drinking water sources. And I know we were chatting, like it's really hard to get a lot of GIS data for Trinity County. So I was just going through this morning and yesterday mapping churches, schools, your high schools that are here, and through like bar 717 on there, because there's like nothing on the map down in Hyam Palms. But basically looking for any facilities or drinking water facilities that aren't mapped that you guys know. Maybe at the end, I can just pull up the map and I can get some of your local knowledge, just grab those, because that will go in as one of the layers into this prioritization process. That is what it's this new program that we're going to start like really prioritizing fuels and trying to work with partners and like do it together and kind of use this very specific process to pull out the best areas.
For those infrastructures within the counties to protect them.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. To prioritize for grant fuels work, basically.
Nice. I want to highlight Randy's comment in the chat, which there's a vibrant planet beta landscape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for your information, we already have Trinity County set up in Vibrant Planet. So the CAL FIRE is, I know, a great new development, but it's already working for Trinity County, and we can give access to an unlimited number of people. And we could also provide some technical support if that would be helpful. So yeah, just for anybody who doesn't know, we already have Vibrant Planet set up for Trinity County.
Yeah, no, of course. There's always there's a million of these like collaborative management like purchase processes. But yeah, that would be great because to see like they gave us our layers as far as what they had input. So if you guys have, maybe they're not talking to each other, but if you guys have more, it looks like we're going to go through it again for the whole unit, but it would be great to see what you already did. What organization are you with, Randy?
I work for the Watershed Research and Training Center.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. But we've tried to make the Vibrant Planet broadly available to all of our partners, and maybe it's been a year or so since we've had training or a lot of outreach around this. So yeah, if we've somehow missed you all, we certainly want to get that used as much as possible, and certainly think it's great news that CAL FIRE's getting engaged with the tool as well.
Yeah, we should definitely chat. That's we know that we're not super connected up here sometimes, so it's good to know what's going on. Yeah, it's pretty what they have set up is pretty cool. It basically like takes the different potential fuels project areas, and then there's it sort of like simplifies it into like dials that you can turn up and turn down. That's like, am I more focused on natural resources or community safety? And then it'll prioritize those. So is that kind of how you guys are using it as well? Randy?
Yeah, definitely. We are using it for project development, or say we have a VTP that covers a big area, then we could kind of triage new kind of looking at the landscape for new grants being developed and using Vibrant Planet to kind of support the rationale about where we're going and the landowners we're reaching out to. And I know that now that the CWPP is updated, we had kind of chatted with Skylar about the potential to add like a Vibrant Planet output addendum for the projects identified by the CWPP was also another thought. So there's potentially a lot of different uses, but yeah, we've mostly been using it for project development and communication with neighborhoods and communities.
Okay, awesome. I'll definitely get your contact and reach out. Thank you.
Moving forward, if that's, you guys are Cal Fire's finished, Caltrans, we have, update Caltrans, not today. Flora. Anybody from Flora?
And I'll be in the future. We'll be probably coming in under. I'll be coming in under Alta Valley Consulting, but I don't have Scholar about that. So I did have some stuff to share, and this is very timely. And I would have been up there. My truck's been in the shop, but I would have been up there today because this is a lot of good stuff to share. Those of you who have been going to these meetings a long time may have heard me talk about the Blue Fire Fuels Reduction Project, which is a project to deal with a lot of the aftermath of the Blue Fire in the Post Mountain area, Southern County. We have received 2 technical assistance grants from the NCRP in the name of the Post Mountain VFD. I don't believe Astrid was able to attend today, but we're working on our second technical assistance grant. And basically, we're looking at about 160 acres of private land in Post Mountain that received high and medium fire behavior 10 years ago. And right now, the landscape's dominated by 10-year-old brush and 10-year-old snags. Really not a great place for fire. For defending against a fire. We're looking to masticate the brush, fall the hazard trees, burn what we can't masticate, and then do a little bit of conifer planting, while at the same time favoring the hardwoods that are there that have now grown up to 10. Now we've got some 10-year-old oak and madrone that can actually be cultured and turned into the next generation. So we're looking to put some fuel resilience around this community, and in this community, we're looking to work on private land. We submitted a request for the secretarial suspension of CEQA on May 1st, that's the CEQA exemption that's under Governor Newsom's proclamation that followed the Palisades fire. So, there was this period where you could get around not having to do CEQA analysis. So we submitted that, and we're going through we're on the second round of reviews. We just went through the first round of reviews. We're also planning to apply for a CAL FIRE wildfire prevention grant, much like TPUD. We're looking to team up with the Hayfork VFD and potentially the county RCD to do the work and generate some infrastructure for South County. And we would like to request a letter of support if it's not too late from this group. The grant isn't due until early July, so potentially there's still time, and hopefully you consider supporting this project, in a community that really hasn't seen a lot of fire prevention, fire resilience work. So, and I'd be happy to answer questions or talk online to anyone. I can put my email in the chat, and of course, Skylar knows how to reach me as well.
Awesome. Cool. Got it up there. Putting it in there. Beautiful. Awesome, Chris. Thank you. Anything else, or
No, that's what I was hoping to discuss, and like I said, if I'll get with Skylar about potentially getting a letter of support. I think Trinity County is a big enough county. I'd love to see two projects funded in this county because we certainly need it. So I totally support what TPUD is trying to do, and but I think that there's some other needs down here that we'd love to be able to address.
And you were saying the deadline for that is July 5th?
July 8th, I believe. Yep, July 8th.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving forward, do we have anybody from the High and Palm Fire Safe Council in attendance today? Any updates? No. All right. Brings it to Lewiston. and I was not sent with any updates. I have questions because did we ever get the ride along? And you were going to,
Yes.
going to do that.
We're gonna do that today, but
Alright.
then it was Monday and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't coordinated anything. So I figure we can reschedule that to another time. We have until the end of the year for
Beautiful.
Lewiston's Firewise risk assessment. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Appreciate that. I was like, I know it was supposed to happen
Yeah.
sometime around now, and haven't heard anything.
We would not have that without you, Mike.
All right, well, that's the only thing I had going for Lewiston. We got anybody from National Resource Conservation Service?
Hey, this is Chris. I don't really have any updates for the group this meeting. Thanks.
Excellent, thank you. How about the NOREL Muck Wing 2? Do we have anyone here this month? Nope. All right, North Coast Unified Air Quality. Any updates?
Not an update, but I just wanted to say thank you to Emily and everyone else who made the Firewise Fair possible. We had a booth there with myself and our grants person, and we had a lot of really great conversations with a lot of people, and it was a wonderful event. So I'm looking forward to next year.
Awesome. All right, maybe from PG&E today. Take that as a no. Anybody from SAFE up there? Thought I heard somebody earlier.
Yeah, I'm here. Got lots of projects that the Forest Service is bringing up. It's almost like a fire hose of them coming at us, and we're concerned about them because they seem to be transitioning away from fuel reduction projects more towards timber sales. So we're having to watch what the impact of those is going to be. But beyond that, nothing else to report.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Nobody from SPI? Let's see. Anybody from the Southern Trinity Fire Safe Council? Nope. Board of Supervisors?
I have no update.
No updates. The collaborative group?
I'd like to update on fire cameras. We thought we were getting ready to cross the goal line, but the goalposts keep getting moved. We're still needing some signatures on the Bonanza King up by the lake. Signatures are en route, but Forest Service has suddenly been asking for more information, so that'll delay it a little bit. And on the Ironside Mountain one, the special use permit, that's through Velocity. The special use permit has been preliminarily approved. The fee has been paid back to the Forest Service. The fee started out at about $1,500, but then it was reduced down to $300, so it was much more manageable and that includes the camera permit and Velocity's special use permit for providing internet connection to the Burnt Ranch School. He paid the fee, and we thought that was ready for signature. And then I just the other day got a email that said they're working on the draft permit, but they're still waiting for the special uses system to reflect the cost recovery payment that Velocity made last week. So they paid the fee, but then the system has to generate something that says the fee was paid. So it's just one of those labyrinth kind of things. So hopefully that will be soon. We're still intending to get those two cameras installed for the major part of fire season. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you for the update, Jerry. OES.
I think most relevant update for this group, the Health and Human Services has been spending quite a bit of time working on Emergency Operations Center training so that we're ready in the event that an incident occurs. We had tabletop exercising training with Cal OES last week. And then which brought up lots of very good questions and additional opportunities for more training. So we're working on doing more training, as well as creating kind of some templates and things so that when an incident starts, we've kind of got minimized the chaos as much as possible. And then I'll be spending some time in the EOC next week, just making sure that we've got all of our computers updated and all the ICS forms printed out and all those things, so that EOC is all ready if we need it. We hopefully we do. End of report.
Awesome. Thank you. Right, anybody from planning department up there? Resource Conservation District. County.
I'll jump in. Continuing to work on our Weaverville Field Break project. We have surveys going on right now for owls, etc. Working on finalizing some prescriptions, etc. So that project is moving forward. McConnell Foundation project started with our contractors, bringing in 4 masticators up in the Trinity Center area. They treated about 60 acres before starting fire on SPI land that was then put up by Coffee Creek VFD.
Extra acreage.
What's that?
Just extra acreage.
Yeah. It was very small. It was like a little postage stamp, about 20 by 20. So they got it under control pretty quickly. But it did, I think, make it a little nervous for SPI. So they kind of shut down the mastication, and they've now pivoted to handwork. So they're starting in the Trinity Knolls area and working their way south in the private lands with their hand crews. Let's see. Our crews have been working under our CAL FIRE Forest Health grant under in the Ridgeville and Estrelita area. Got about 25 acres completed. Moving next week to our downriver project, starting in Sawyer. And we just awarded a contract for that same project that also has a timber component, just at our board meeting this past Tuesday, to Kephart, or I think it's KCC Timber out of Hayfork, so a local entity.
So someone did the whole flat
Yes,
project. Nice.
correct. Yep, he came in significantly lower than some of the other bids. So having worked with him and been happy with his work, we decided to award him on this project. So let's see. And then we had an NOE for the Parks Trinity project, which we have funding under CAL FIRE's Forest Health Agreement to do. And that is for roadside fuels up in and around the Parks Creek Road, going up IP Road over to Siskiyou County. So my expectation is that with that NOE being in place, we'll probably be starting that a little bit later this season. And I think that's all I've got right now. Anything else from others? Okay.
Oh, thanks.
And a report.
All right. Anybody from Trinity Center? Yeah. Don't see. No. TPUD, any updates?
Yeah, we've got we completed some mastication work under our community wildfire defense grant up Eagle Creek, Trinity Center to Bowerman. Again, with the weather changing, we've stopped mastication work and gone to chipping. We're doing a chipping project between Bowerman and Covington Mill currently. Also, of course, we're doing hazard tree abatement, trimming East Weaver, Canyon Creek, Junction City, Trinity Center, kind of all over the place. Had some outages with the winds last Monday there, and we've since put all of our reclosers on the one shot, meaning they're non-reclose, meaning you'll probably see a little more outages this summer, but they're there to prevent fires. Also doing some pole clearing. Southern Trinity, High Pond, Hayfork for the Public Resource Code 4292. And of course, we already talked about our grant application for the Hayfork 60 line. And I've got some CDF conservation crews working up Helena, doing some brushing work also. So another side note, our general manager, Paul Hauser, has resigned and has been replaced by Sarah Sheets. So local girl is running the PUD currently. So happy about that. So I'll take any questions from Jerry.
Hey, Dave, could
Yes, sir.
could you explain or restate that about the recloser and what you're doing there?
Sure. We have substation reclosers and also I think there's 30 field reclosers. What a recloser is a type of circuit breaker in the field that if the circuit gets an interruption, a tree limb, a squirrel, or something of that nature, typically during non-fire season, it'll wait for a second. That's where you see your lights blink maybe once, twice, and then it comes back on. That recloser during these settings, these fire settings are set to extremely sensitive to where if anything even comes in contact with the wire, it will open up that circuit, hopefully preventing any sort of ignition, and we'll have to inspect that entire line beyond the recloser to re-energize. So there could be some intermittent outages this summer while we go to these settings. And but again, it's all in the name of fire safe.
Got it. Thanks.
Yep.
Awesome. Do we have anybody from Pisnagway this month? Nope. UC Cooperative Extension?
No.
No. Shasta Trinity National Forest, new Forest Service updates?
Yeah, got a few. Wanted to share our accomplishments for this past year. We're sitting at 830 acres of prescribed fire implemented on the Weaverville and Big Bar Ranger districts. So a pretty good uptick from last year. In the Bowerman project, 2,200 acre project, we've implemented about 1,000 acres of that in the last year. Mostly fuels work. Pressing forward now that LOPs are lifted in Bowerman and Trinity camps, as well as the peak emergency action. So quite a bit of work going on around the forest here. And I know that the South Fork folks are doing a lot of good work down in High Palm. So if there's not any questions, I'll leave it at that.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you, Nate. Anybody from Watershed?
Oh, we have 6 rivers.
Oh, Six Rivers, no, sorry. Anybody, Six Rivers National Forest?
Yep. Just reporting out for the Mad River Ranger District. We've completed 187-ish acres of tractor pile burning so far this year, or at least since October. 45 of those acres were kind of a linear series of burn units across Mad Ridge Fuel Break right above the Ruth Guard Station. That all comes out to about 17,000 tons of hazard fuel reduction, mostly felled trees or hazard trees. With that, we've also disposed of about 2,500 tons in our air curtain burner at Ruth, mostly from the school section hazard tree abatement project on County Road 502, but a lot of other projects across the district over the past year as well. And then a couple other little updates. We are finalizing and just need signatures on our D70 prescribed fire burn plan, which is going to be 70 acres just above the Van Duzen community and County Road 511, south of the Forest Service compound on Highway 36. And we'll be looking to do that this fall once our summer indices come back up or come back down and start to normalize as we get into some cooler, wetter weather. So we'll be looking to do that hopefully in probably November. Other than that, we have our fire season readiness reviews for Mad River Resources on June 11th down near the Xenia Guard Station. So if you see a flurry of activity down there on that day, we're just out there doing some mock initial attack response and getting ready for the season. Otherwise, across the district, some project updates. We've received comments on the South Fork veg management project on the EA. So myself and a bunch of the other specialists are working through the responses to the comments that we've received. We're also working on working through the proposed action and some of the other specialist work for the Bucktail Veg Management Project, which is kind of split between Trinity and Humboldt counties over on Buck Mountain by the Van Dusen, which is going to be about 14,000 acres in total is the project area, but in that we'll have about 1,300 acres of fuel treatments, and of those, about 850 acres of roadside and ridgeline fuel breaks we have planned. And then a bunch of other standalone fuels treatment units. And then one of our new upcoming projects, which will be probably 2027, 2028, will be what we're calling Robert's Roost, which is going to be in the Kenton Palm Xenia area for about 7,600 acres, 7,700 acres. So we've begun some scoping and unit layout and just looking around that area for opportunities to get some veg management in with a decent amount of fuels work. We just don't have a true number yet. And then other than that, some of the planned work for the season, WRTC, our biggest partner, is going to be continuing some work on Mad Ridge Fuel Break for approximately 100 acres, just picking up on what they left off on last season. And then moving into one of our newer areas or new project areas, which is the Green Acre Woods timber sale. We have a bunch of fuels units in there. And so they'll be completing hopefully about 200 acres or so adjacent to the Xenia Guard Station off of County Road 502. And that is about it for Mad River, unless anyone has any questions.
Doesn't look like it. So solid. Thank you, Adam. All right, on to watershed. Then watershed update.
Thanks, y'all. We, as you've heard, have our fuels crews are out and about doing a lot of really great work with our partners on top of a lot of the work characterized previously. We've also had some folks, we've been working on the Middle Trinity CWDG project in the neighborhoods of Lorenz Gulch and Oregon Ridge. There's been a little bit of mastication happening southwest of Weaverville on private lands. That was in April. It was a bit hindered by the rains there, but we're going to get back at it. Yes, have had crews on the Mad River Ranger District working on that Mad Ridge Fuel Break and the First 48 project around Ruth Lake. Also working in Hitchcock Creek for the Southern Trinity Forest Health Project. And we've just moved a crew out to South Fork Road downriver to do some shaded fuel break work on private land down here. Besides that, we did community chipping last month in partnership with the Trinity County RCD. It went really great. Went so well, in fact, that we have to do some maintenance on our chipper today. So instead of it being down in Kenton Palm and Xenia, we're doing a little bit of maintenance, and we'll have to reschedule that day for the couple of landowners who signed up down south there. Finally, on the forestry and fuels kind of note, we did get invited by CAL FIRE to submit a full proposal for a forest health project, which will include a project that we've been working with the Trinity County RCD on. So I'm imagining we'll probably have a letter of support, letter of commitment type thing for next meeting that's due June 29th. So we should be able to squeak in next meeting. And then finally, I noticed that the fire program isn't here today. I did just find out from Ellen and Quaylen that they just got their Yellow Star Thistle Trex dates pinned down. They'll be doing that next week, June 1st to the 13th, with potential burn days between the 3rd and the 12th. So if you are on those lists, I'm sure they're hard at work getting the word out, and I thought I'd share that here for them as well. That's all for me, and if Randy has any other notes, I'll let her take the mic. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. I hope I fixed my technical difficulty and you guys can hear me.
Yep, here.
Good news. Thank you. So kind of also more in the planning realm for the Watershed Center. We are making good progress on the Junction City planning project. That's on Forest Service lands. We're doing an environmental assessment. We're building an archaeology program at the Watershed Center, and so likely our timing is all dependent on getting the archaeology work done, but we are thinking we're on track for getting that decision to the forests this year for their review, approval, signature, all of that good stuff. One aspect of that project that's kind of interesting, Sierra Pacific Industries will be implementing a portion of that project under their fuel break stewardship agreement that they have with the Forest Service, and the Watershed Center will be coordinating other aspects of implementation, and that will be partially built into the forest health proposal we're working on right now. So wanted you guys to have an update on that EA. The second piece also comes with my appreciation to the Trinity County RCD for acting as the CEQA lead for a California vegetation treatment program tiering document, Cal VTP PSA, which is a project-specific analysis. So the RCD board reviewed the document and approved it this past week. So we'll be able to get that submitted to CAL FIRE for our current forest health grant in the South Fork of the Trinity. And we did a Cal VTP for Hyampom last year, and work is ongoing out there. The Hitchcock Creek work that Sophia mentioned is tiered to that VTP, but we've also been working down in the community of Hyampom with two grants. One is Forest Health and the other is the CWDG, the Community Wildfire Defense grants that are being administered by the Forest Service. And we are also about to put out award contracts for work in North Trinity, tiered to the Bowerman CE that we worked with the Forest Service on. So that update that Nate gave is, also going to have some additional work coming from the Watershed Center. Both the RCD and the Watershed Center submitted companion grants for those projects in the Upper Trinity. So you'll see more contract work being done in Bowerman and the Peak Fire area in the coming season. So I think those are some of the loose ends. If anybody has questions, we're happy to answer. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Randy. Any questions from anybody? Right. Weaverville Fire.
Hello. I've been back a little over a week, so I'm still figuring things out for the year. We have 30 properties on our list for our hazardous fuels reduction crew. I'll have all the assessments done by tomorrow, and the crew started yesterday on our first project. We're just going to get started and start knocking them out.
Right on.
So if you know anybody in Junction City, Weaverville, Lewiston, and Douglas City, have them call the Weaverville Fire Department and get on our list if they need some help.
Is this mostly defensible space, or do you also do hazard tree falling? Did you?
Yeah, you talking about that one on Benoist? Yeah, I went and looked at that one today. Not my crew. Not my crew.
Fair enough.
Some small diameter stuff, if we can get at it and not hit a house.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, it's mostly defensible space work around the house. And then a lot of suggestions to homeowners for how to harden their home. Stuff like that.
Fair enough. We're working hard trying to
We're trying
to get a solution.
Problems, that road's a private road, so the county can't deal with it. The homeowners in there can't pay for it. And it's that tree, the bark's sloughing off now at about shoulder height, so I don't know if that's a bark issue or if there's a structural problem with that tree now. But
I have one more idea. See how it goes.
yeah, dynamite. Give up the old thing.
So that's close. Thanks, Sue. Anybody from the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll start out with our project coordinators report. Jen has been very busy, and so this is under our CWDG funding that projects we have going on. One of our contract crews that we brought on successfully been active with phase 2 and was able to complete some burning around some structures down beyond Patterson Road out Horse Leno Way. And so that was looking really good, caught the community's attention, and we calmed them all down. And we really need to get people more familiar and thinking that fire is okay. But so yeah, that's been successful with that crew. She's also in her notes talked about an RFP being released here for the next phase, manual fuels reduction work in our Panther Creek and Butterfly Creek area, which is kind of south of Willow Creek above residential area. And she's been busy with installing address signs in the community, making contact, and 118 address signs she's completed. Along with that, the Blue Dot program is kicked in. We have a GIS person brought on as a contractor, and that will kind of go under like the Avenza program or whatever works that people can refer to as incoming fire crews. Their community fire folks can use it. It wouldn't be made to the public, but incorporating past legacy data into current data for the Blue Dot program seems to be pretty important. Helping our Willow Creek CSD with their fire hydrants is one of my goals that I think that working together would benefit everyone. And Jen also attended a CAL FIRE qualified entities training in the beginning of May, and she really, really liked it. I was impressed listening to her. My little bit of fire background, I was just thrilled to hear her excitement. And I think that everyone really needs to, or I still want to see like a basic 32 for the homeowner. Everybody needs to understand just some basic fire. So that's my spill there. Moving on to her Campbell Ridge project. That is her, Jen Schuyler and Emily Acer's been active with assessing the treatment areas, and we're hoping to get some implementation work started in June. So Campbell Ridge is just up around Salyer Heights area, and that little narrow back road that connects Willow Creek to Salyer is it's looking good. We're filling in all the little gaps between all these different grant projects, and so there's that. The Fire Safe Council is looking at attending a Firewise softball tournament this week and selling our snow cones. And then we've got Bigfoot Days on June 27th. We'll be doing the same. We're keeping it simple. No barbecue hot dogs, just snow cones. And so one other big exciting thing for the council is we were awarded an NCRP grant recently, and we're looking at a budget meeting this afternoon, and we're waiting for our kickoff meeting so that we could start planning our crew capacity. It'll take us through 2027, which in that length of time, we're hoping to bring on a manager, executive director type person, helping us look into more grants to keep that position filled. Just building up that crew capacity so that we could, maintain the organization that's been around already for 18 years. So yeah, and for Salyer, spring has sprung around here. The grass is tall. My purple milk thistle is 20 foot high, and kid you not. Anyway, the county's down here busy doing their thing. They're getting ready to chip seal the road next, starting on June 1st. And like was mentioned, the crews out here wake up call at 06:30 with them chainsaws, and I know they're working on a shaded fuel break. So that's really good and exciting to see that work, knowing that Downriver is getting some work done. One other exciting thing I saw, I don't have any information. I know that the Forest Service at Lower Trinity had a air curtain burner in the works. And I'll tell you what, it's sitting down there at Big Rock right now. It isn't busy, it's not active or up and running, but it's close. As soon as I get some more information, I'll be sure and share. So that should offset some of our chipping and, people wanting to know what they can do with their brush, either driving it to the coast. Hoopa Roads takes brush down there. People that aren't comfortable burning. And so this air curtain burner is a permanent thing that should be there for everyone. So, yeah, that's pretty much the exciting stuff we have going on. Any questions?
No.
Nada? Thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here. Solid work down there. All right, so moving forward, by moving forward, I'd kind of like to circle back to Chris. I kind of feel like I've dropped the ball on the letter of support for Chris's projects in Southern Trinity, the Chris Losi,
So I think we can bring it to the next meeting, because by the time that the application is due, we'll have another fire safe council meeting, so we can prepare something.
Yeah, I was just making sure that there were no objections or concerns with us drafting a letter for that, a letter of support amongst everyone. Is everybody good with that? I'm super good with it. So, cool. So we'll circle back to that next month.
Does that work with you, Chris?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And it's been a while, so I'm gonna start coming to more of these. But you remember me? I've been coming to these over the past few months, so the past years. So no, that's great. And I look forward to meeting with the RCD next week. And both Astrid and Leroy wanted to attend today, but things are what they are. It's a busy time of year, so I'm hoping next time we'll have everybody here and we can answer any questions you might have.
Excellent. All right. So moving forward, we have any future discussion items? Our next meeting is June 25th, 2026. I think that wraps everything up. Everybody's ready to rock. I'm ready to rock. Let's do it. We're getting out of here. Great.
Thank you, everyone.
We're going back to the station.